sad all the time? Tired of lugging your exhausted, decaying body to and from work? Sounds like you need Magic Spoon! Get ready to revisit the breakfast of your long gone youth. Magic Spoon tastes like the breakfast cereals you loved as a kid, but with 13 grams of protein, 0 sugar, and 4 grams of net carbs in each serving, you can feel good about eating it now. Magic Spoon cereal isn't just tasty, it's also gluten, wheat, and soy free. It is unfortunately not guilt-free because nothing will ever absolve you from your sins. It's not just cereal. Magic Spoon's protein bars are an incredible pick-me-up when I'm on the go and looking for a boost of protein. So use code BREEDING or click the link in the description to try Magic Spoon cereal today and get $5 off. You can also find Magic Spoon on Amazon or in your nearest grocery store. Magic Spoon comes with a 100% happiness guarantee when you buy online. Don't like it for any reason, they'll refund your money, no questions asked. So click the link in the description to go to magicspoon.com/breeding or scan the QR code on the screen for $5 off.
Watch and explain all the Ring movies or you'll die in 7 days.
I totally forgot that shit was hot.
I spent 4 hours on the internet.
Well, appropriately, these opening logos are kind of glitchy because like VHS tape.
What the heck is going on?
Oh, sorry. I guess I should explain this to my 0.2% of my audience that's Gen Alpha. A VHS is like a long horizontal TikTok video that you manually shove into your TV's mouth like a Zoloft.
Remarkable.
Also, a TV is like a really big iPad. You'd love it. You can't watch it while you're at the restaurant with your parents who don't want to talk to you, but it's still cool. It's very fun. The picture's very big. Just like I did 5 seconds ago, the screenwriter immediately tips his hand that he's a 30-year-old out-of-touch man when his teen character mentions that she hates
television.
Has any kid ever actually said the full word television? No way! We were all too busy shredding it up on our boards and eating saw, you know?
All the molecules in our heads are all unstable. All the companies know about it, but they're not doing anything about it.
Would you cut a scene where she's talking about buying the record that she heard on the FM radio? She's a narc.
It's a big conspiracy.
I guess the screenwriter dude is just a little out of his element, banging out dialogue between two uniformed schoolgirls. Though to his credit, he did not write a, hey, you want to practice kissing scene?
And as soon as it's over, your phone rings. Someone knows you've watched it, and what they say is,
You're under arrest.
Sorry.
You're under arrest.
No, he wouldn't really hit his screenwriting groove until he wrote the scripts for Transformers 2 through 4. And then he absolutely freaking peaked when he wrote Top Gun Maverick. He's way more comfortable with boy movies.
Thank you, sir. Wasn't a compliment.
I mean, to be fair, the writing is like, we're gonna blow up an airplane. General Mann goes, yes.
And then this airplane shoots this airplane.
But okay, turns out that the reason Katie here doesn't like television is because of science reasons.
You know, I heard there's so many magnetic waves traveling through the air because of
The television!
Also, speaking of television science, apparently this topless lady has 70% extra body. Which parts are extra?
you can pick something, I don't care.
The other girl is like, hey, what you're saying is stupid and boring.
Have you heard about this videotape that kills you when you watch it?
Quite the conversational whiplash. But no, seriously, you watch it and then your phone rings and a voice is like,
You will die in 7 days.
I'm really busy that day.
and then it calls back and it asks if your refrigerator is running. It's very mean.
Who told you that?
And any normal 2000 teen would be like, no, I haven't. I've been too busy kissing boys and never forgetting and growing my Tamagotchi, which has been challenging because those are all wildly competing interests. But weirdly, Katie's actually like,
Me and Josh, we saw it last weekend.
so romantic. Hey, how many days are in a week?
Oh my God, Katie.
I'm just joshing.
You a freak.
I actually did hand stuff with my boyfriend.
You a hoe. Tell me now.
Or did I?
Like what?
Girl Speak is so confusing when it's written by the writer of Transformers 2 through 4.
This is so lame.
They head downstairs and the television is haunted for a second.
Bye, Mom.
What are you doing with the television?
Katie heads back upstairs and is like, uh-oh, looks like Becca spilled some water or pissed herself again. God, the grudge vibes here are already thicker than a dehydrated schoolgirl's piss, I guess. But she opens the door and the television in her room is on and it's displayed weird artsy crap and she freaks out to almost certain death. This is like that time I went in Dave's room and saw him watching his video diary, except it didn't take me a whole last week to realize I'd made a life-changing mistake. It didn't take me 7 days. It took me about 7 seconds. I was like, uh-oh. Uh-oh. Cut to a kid drawing in school all by himself.
It's called hentai, and it's art.
His hot mommy
Call me Rachel.
busts in and is like, sorry I'm late. You know how it is. His teacher is like, don't I know it, hot mommy.
Rachel.
But hey, before you leave, I just wanted you to know that your son, Aiden, has been drawing weird-ass pictures of Katie's death since they were close. And as you know, she died 3 days ago during the cold open. But actually, Aiden's drawings predate her death.
What? Nothing.
Anyway, have a great day. Don't be late again or I'll throw Aiden out the window.
By all means, take your time.
And man, times have changed. Nowadays, you bite your sandwich into the shape of a gun and you get suspended for 2 weeks. But back then, you could just sit around drawing snuff pictures and the teachers were like, your use of color is coming along nicely. Keep it up.
What's his cousin? What's
Bullshit. And okay, yes, her name is. This is hammered home, actually most often by her son.
Isn't that Rachel?
Why does he refer to her by her first name? The movie never explains, but I have to assume it's because all the kids at school call her hot mommy, and he's like overcorrecting.
Hey.
What a hot mommy.
I'll wait in the car.
Although the very next day, he tricks her into coming out of her bedroom in her underwear by grabbing the dress that she wants and bringing it out to the common area. So, I don't know, Aiden's been through a lot recently, so maybe we'll just let him have some, lingerie Rachel time. We all deserve a little lingerie Rachel time on occasion when we're especially sad.
Have you got a moment, Miss Keller?
Oh, yeah! They head to Katie's funeral where it's revealed that she was officially killed by hell if I know, despite everybody doing like a ton of research.
I spent 4 hours on the internet. You must be exhausted.
Now, 4 hours sounds like a lot, but this was 2002. She probably opened, like 7 web pages tops? I'm sure youthemannowdog.com has tons of salient info.
I couldn't find one single case of the 16-year-old girl's heart just...
But also, what did the coroner or the medical examiner put on the death certificate? A drawing of a shrug?
I spoke to 3 different doctors, and not one of them could tell me exactly what happened to my daughter.
You think she died of a broken heart?
I think they say that her heart gave out, but that's like saying he died from, like his head blew up. Like, what caused her organ to fail? Her Tamagotchi dying? Actually, that does kind of make sense.
I took good care of her.
But to be sure, Katie's mom needs Rachel to do a little digging.
I shovel very well.
It's what you do.
Because Rachel's a reporter. And ostensibly, she's great at walking up to groups of teens and being like, haha, hey kids,
So who's in the mental hospital?
I used to smoke drugs when I was a kid. Do you guys ever do that? Did Katie ever do that? Did she just boof it up real good?
I remember I was that age.
Or did she maybe watch creepy VHS tapes?
The one that kills you when you watch it.
All right.
Oh yeah, that sounds like the type of tape I might be thinking of. Apparently Katie was secretly dating a Josh.
It was kind of a secret.
Kind of?
And for fun, they went to a cabin somewhere and watched an unmarked tape. And then she died and also appears to have partially melted. And then also that Josh maybe killed himself? Must have been another one of Dave's.
I haven't seen it, obviously.
Rachel also finds a scrapbook with everybody's face marked out, which makes more sense when you learn that this is all coming from an angry 16-year-old girl.
Quit being a bitch.
And a business card for a photo processing place.
What the heck is going on?
Oh my God, I'm sorry, Gen Alphas. Back in the day when you wanted to take a picture of your balls and or butt, you had to do it with a thing called film, which is like this black plastic that captures your soul, and you had to take it to a place that makes the black plastic look like your balls and or butt. Sounds crazy, but also, nobody could hack it and send it to the entirety of human civilization, so that was nice.
Those are the pictures?
They're all over the news.
Those are balls.
What?
So she goes to get Katie's photos developed, but apparently this place sucks because everybody's faces are super blurred and stretched. She also soon learns that the other 2 people in the picture are also dead now at the exact same time as the first 2, and it's like, okay, that's crazy. Okay?
Yes, you are.
Rachel heads out to the secret hand stuff and murder tape cabin to immediately discover an entire Blockbuster's worth of VHS tapes.
Quite a selection.
No, Gen Alpha, I'm not going to explain Blockbuster. Some things are just for us. Rachel grabs an unmarked tape that just screams, I will kill you if you watch me, and rents the hand stuff cabin to watch the tape. I don't know if she does hand stuff, but if she wanted to, it's a great cabin for it, I think.
That's why we bought tape players for...
Holders, you Michaela Walters.
Excuse me, would you consider playing us?
For the Ultras.
Oh, we're kind of at a high level.
Fascinating.
You guys sure you want this?
Please serve. That was fun. Playing for those ultras.
They got Ultras. And stuff.
Unfortunately, it's mostly just random creepy shots.
You want to see the most beautiful thing I've ever filmed?
I hate it!
But at least it's only like 3 minutes long, which would now technically qualify as a YouTube short and would kill probably every single person under 25, because that algorithm's crazy. Then the phone rings and the voice says,
7 days.
I don't think that movie was good enough to justify only having 7 more days to live. I mean, if it was my 3.5-hour Hellraiser video, sure. But this? No. Also, the phone call only says 7 days, which doesn't immediately make me think that, like, I'm gonna die in 7 days. You know how many creepy-sounding prank calls people made before cell phones and caller ID were the norm? Also, what would happen if you watched the tape in a place without a telephone? Dave, is that why you keep pointing to me and mouthing soon? Day 1. Rachel begins the first day of the last of her life, letting her son make his own lunch and send himself to school
I'm going to school.
while she wigs out in bed. Her life is literally too short, and she's too hot to spend time worrying about what her dumb kid is gonna eat or do with his life. Some hot boy named Noah stops by, and Rachel's like, look, my face now sucks in pictures too. And she explains and shows the tape, and he's like, I don't know, this movie is kind of lame.
It was very student film.
Can we get some motorcycles?
Isn't that why I'm here?
4 kids are dead, Noah.
The talent I have.
While he watches, Rachel looks out at all of her lazy-ass neighbors watching TV and like, it's, what, 9 a.m., you bums? Get a job. Go to school. Watch a tape that murders you. Do something with your life.
Roll credits.
The phone rings, ostensibly for Noah, but neither of them answer it, and he's not really worried about it, but if she wants to make a copy of the tape, then he'll inspect it somehow. Day 2. Noah watches the tape again and is like, okay, the time code or whatever is all screwy.
Can you pretend for 1 minute that I don't read Video Geek magazine?
That's the equivalent to being born with no fingerprints, which is impossible. And no, Dave, you can't just chew the time code off the tape like you did with your fingerprints. Ugh. They watch the tape some more and realize there's a bunch of extra tape to the sides that's only visible if you massage the tape super hard. Because before MCU post-credits, it made you earn that bonus scene shit.
Okay, keep
Sometimes
going.
it leads to very little. Seems like it's not worth it.
But not too hard, oh my god! Weird moment for Noah's sexy assistant to walk in.
My preferred partner in crime.
But it's fine. She's only in literally one other scene besides this one. So don't feel too bad for her. Death is only sad if it happens to somebody you know pretty well. So feel bad for Rachel and Noah since they sort of have some angry history together.
You're angry.
I'm not angry.
Well, no, what are you then?
John Cena! And also because they'll probably both be dead in like 5 days. That sucks for them, you know? I don't want to be dead in 5 days.
You don't need that.
Day 3. Rachel goes to visit Becca in the mental institution because her brain broke when Katie died and she's scared of televisions now. And all Becca really says is she'll show you in 4 days, which is not helpful.
Who will show me?
John Cena! Thanks for nothing, Becca broke brain. Name it!
Becca.
But also, what do people in horror movies expect to get from patients in mental hospitals? They're there for a reason.
No point, really, unless you're talking crazy.
So Rachel goes to mess with the tape some more and discovers a lighthouse and also that she can pull a fly out of the video somehow. And also, her nose is bleeding. But for different reasons than Dave's does.
I do cocaine.
Weirdly, her next move isn't to try and splice DuckTales into the video and empty out Uncle Scrooge's money bag. Baby, that's free money. That's a dream. It's not a liquid. Day 4. It's book day. Let's get a whole stack of the most boring possible books.
What the heck is going on?
I know I said the last one was the last one, but I don't want to lose my Gen Alpha audience. So books are like Google if it actually gave you useful information. Anyway, one book reveals the location of the video lighthouse because I guess there's only like 12 lighthouses in America. So then she does actually do some Googling. Gen Alpha, Google used to be useful. Isn't that weird? Yes. And the Googling reveals that the woman in the video is one
Anna Morgan.
Rachel then does some analog record searching and learns a bunch of horses kept killing themselves. And eventually Anna went nuts and did the thing I call leaving my Patreon.
Breeder suicide.
Because you'd have to be crazy to stop being a breeder, right? I mean, look at these kids. Now look at them without food. Oh, you monsters. I'm gonna pull a Rachel and draw all over your dumb face. Day 5. Turns out Noah's face is all screwed up in security cam footage.
You're gonna die.
All right, well, keep that in mind.
And Rachel somehow actually drinks and then chokes out an entire cathode or electrode, the thing that you stick on your head when you're about to get shocked into forgetting all the horrible breeders who left you for greener Patreon pastures. And then a creepy wet girl grabs her arm and she has a vision and she wakes up in bed and learns that her dumbass son, that she never pays any attention to, also watched the tape. It's like, God, I haven't been watching you for days and you did something I wouldn't want. Oh, I'm gonna have to ignore you even harder as punishment.
Why, baby? Why?
What? Well, actually, technically, he watched the copy. And she, again, refuses to answer the phone, but then she does answer the phone. But it turns out to be Noah. And she's like, watch the tape. Twist, Noah is also a parent, but somehow even more so. The parental neglect was coming from both inside and outside the house. Oh my God. Day 6. Let me explain, Aiden, why I, Noah, would be a dad. It's because I was young when you were born, and nobody young has ever had a baby and subsequently been a good dad.
Conundrum.
Aiden's like, damn, your logic is airtight. Thanks for abandoning me, Dad.
You wish I was around more?
No.
It would suck if you were a mediocre dad. I'd prefer you be an absent dad. Anyway, all that to say, thanks, Dad. And he's like, call me Noah. I don't think he actually says that.
Thing is, I don't like you.
Now, Aiden, get out of the car so your mom and I can drive to Ghost Girl Horse Island to look for more clues.
Time to go, mister.
Don't get your hopes up that the shared experience will bring us closer together and reignite the passion we once had for each other. This ain't no Parent Trap.
Yeah.
One of us isn't coming back alive. I'm just gonna keep it real with you, kiddo. But anyway, we're leaving you here. I still don't want to spend time with you, even after all that I've shared with you. I'm a dad.
It's a talent I have.
On the ferry, Rachel calms her nerves by convincing a horse to commit breeder suicide.
Hey, you.
Turns out I'm already any good with horses.
Ring transition. They split up. Noah goes to the mental institution to learn more about Anna's stay, but they're like, we're not going to give you that information, you idiot. So he just breaks in and he looks anyway.
Jerk up.
He finds Anna's file, which has a little Japanese in it, as an unsubtle reference to the Japanese film This Is Rebooting, which always goes well. And by the way, Cesare did a little investigating here, and he says that the Japanese makes no sense. He could sort of make out the words body and maybe special secret, but a lot of the characters look wrong. He showed it to his Japanese wife. She has no idea what this was supposed to be. Also, he doesn't think they'd write Anna's name in the Latin alphabet. Now, you know, not every single thing about this movie is perfect.
I'm sorry.
The file also has some weird-ass ultrasound-looking pictures, but of like horses and needles, neither of which you should try to birth out any of your holes, in my professional medical opinion. Then Noah convinces a guy down there to show him a tape that upon first glance I was convinced was labeled Smosh, but it doesn't say that. Also, like Noah's paternal instincts, it's not there anyway.
Okay, now, man.
I guess Noah learned literally nothing at all.
No shit. That's all it takes.
So I guess let's see what Rachel was doing while Noah didn't watch any old Smosh sketches. Turns out she's visiting the old Morgan homestead, which she recognizes from the tape that makes you die. She goes up to Anna's husband, Captain Morgan? Ugh.
Excuse me.
Captain.
You want to know about the horses?
Out the tape,
Where'd you get that?
but then he kind of kicked. So she wanders over to the island doctor. I'm going to assume prescribes marijuana for every element in Jamaican accent, but I don't know where we're at. I mean, Trump's the president. Are we allowed to do that again? Pardon? Yeah.
Only doctor on the island.
She reveals that the Morgans couldn't really have it. But then one day they went on a trip. They came back with a kid named Samara, who they claimed adopted. But like the doc says, in a way that makes you think that she definitely suspected.
Adopted, they said. Never did say where.
Yet in all those years, she did nothing about it. That's my kind of doctor. I think this kid's been abducted and trafficked. Sucks for her, I guess.
Their daughter?
Do you know?
And I've been on so many business trips where I can't think of a souvenir to grab my wife, so I just grab another baby. She's children so far. I gotta catch them all. Join my Patreon. You can keep feeding and not do what the Morgans did and become insane, and also become insane and sent to a mental institution on the main. I assume she still lives today. I'm not going to follow up because, again, I'm just an island.
Some people have limits.
Big the whole lot. I'm about vibes, okay? Let's just say after Samara left, the vibes around here, they got better. So I considered work done, okay? If the vibes are bad, then I get involved. Vibes are good, man.
With all the snorkeling equipment. I thought it'd be a little more fun.
No offense, ma'am. What the hell does that mean?
It means ever since that girl's been gone, things have been better.
Without the ones like you working tirelessly to keep things running, everything would suddenly stop. No matter your industry, Grainger's here for you with professional-grade supplies. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Rachel is like, that was informative, if confusingly worded, so she heads back to Captain Morgan's land boat, where she finds the actual Smosh tape, which shows Samara being real weird and skeptical of her daddy.
Your daddy loves you?
Daddy loves me.
And that actually does track for most of my souvenir children as well. They're always like, let me go back to my real family, and let me out of your suitcase, and speak of the daddy.
She was your daughter!
Figuratively. My man's wandering around being like, my wife wasn't supposed to have a kid. And he's just stacking every electrical anything he could find in a super wet bathroom and breeder suiciding himself. It's sort of a metaphor for when you can't find anything good on Netflix, or in this case, a Blockbuster. Or I guess most in this case, when there's no good VHS tapes of like Speed or The Phantom Menace on the campground shelves. So instead, you watch a movie that kills you. This is like a metaphor for that. I'm like, I can't find anything, so I'm just gonna throw my TV in the tub with me. You know how that is.
And now we're pleased to bring you our feature presentation.
Noah shows up right at that exact moment. And they're pretty immediately over the whole thing, so they break into the barn to discover Samara was evidently raised in a pretty sick loft room with a whole home theater set up. And in today's market, I'm thinking this goes for easily $2,000 a month, not including utilities. I mean, Samara, why are you wasting time killing randos when you could have been killing noobs on Halo? Is that a CRT TV? Damn, no lag. She'd be ripping ass on Halo 3. They're like, this is a bad thing. But I'm like, man, I would have killed people with a tape of myself for a setup like this.
Not alone.
I guess this is as good a time to mention the time I got suspended in high school for making a tape that didn't kill anybody, but would, according to the assistant principal, sexually harass them. Remember that, Dave? Have I ever said it on this channel?
Should we keep it under wraps until you're pardoned officially from the Rubber Chicken sexual harassment incident?
All right, here's the overview. Basically, my friend was going to film like a promo. It was like Monty Mustang. We were the Monticello Mustangs. The guy was in the Mustang.
Horse outfit?
Yeah. And they were going to go film, and I was like, oh, I want to come. But what I didn't know was that it was a sting operation because the teacher thought he was a piece of shit and wanted to catch him on tape being bad. And what do you know? He was bad. He was like running into classrooms and stuff. So simultaneously, I brought along the rubber chicken, and we were like, ha, it's a cock. And we were throwing it at each other and stuff. We get back to the room, and she's like, give me the tape. And I'm like, destroy it! I didn't think it was that bad, but, you know. So then I went to school, or went to class, and then I got called to the assistant principal's office, and he's got us all sitting there, and he's like, do you know what's on that tape? I was like, I mean, vaguely. And he's like, you had a rubber chicken in your pants. I'm like, haha, right. He's like, and you called it your cock. I was like, yeah, right? It's pretty funny, because it's a rooster. And then he's like, and you're suspended for 3 days. And I was like, what? No! And then I walk out, my dad calls, he's like, you want to tell me anything? I was like, yeah, I got suspended for honestly the weirdest thing. He's like, sexual harassment is a weird thing? I was like, what? What do you mean? And then it turned out that it was sexual harassment if you had distributed it. It would have created a hostile environment. It was not that bad. I've never seen the tape, so maybe there was something horrible on there. But the thing is, my friend's mom came into school the next day, threatened to sue everyone. She'd read like the whole handbook and all this stuff. And so instead of that, they just bumped it down from sexual harassment to a mild insubordination. And we all got to come back to school, and the assistant principal had to write everybody a letter for their college recs, like recommendation letters.
Well, you also, it was like your honor society?
Yeah, I got kicked out of every honor society still. I had to take all my finals. If you had a high enough grade in the class, you didn't have to take, but I had to. Some teachers were cool. They were like, that's the stupidest thing I've heard. You get an A. But some were like, well, it sounds like you're you're a pervert, so I guess you're gonna take the Spanish final. I was like, yo no soy pervert, pollo es pervert.
Oh, good Christ.
But anyway, they see a burned tree on the wood behind the wallpaper, and Rachel's like, oh, I know that tree. It's from the cabin I was at where they did hand stuff and you watch things and you died. And good thing it was only the one tree around that whole first cabin. So we gotta go back there. You'll love it there. The guy who runs the place,
Get your card?
No.
well, he sucks ass at magic.
Damn.
But it's fun to watch him try, so. Day 7. Weird question before we start this day, but how the hell did Becca hear about this tape exactly? She obviously didn't hear about it from Katie, and nobody that she knew was dead by that point. The girl at the beginning is like, I saw a tape and it made me die. And the other girl's like, oh my God, I've heard about that tape. It's crazy tape.
Yeah, that was the tape for that. There was a kitten with a rubber chicken in the background.
That's it.
But no, now they're back and Noah spills a bunch of marbles. Which, do we think this cabin came with marbles? Do they have to pay extra for the marbles? Or did Noah bring a bunch of marbles in case they got bored on their last day of life?
Just use the time you have.
Again, another situation where no one is considering Halo as an option. I mean, if I'm gonna die in 7 days, I'm gonna get in a couple rounds.
There's a reason that we're here. What?
But the marbles congregate around a big wet part of the floor, so Noah smashes the floor to reveal a well. Then the television starts leaking and the screws in the floor come up and eventually bugs fly out of the well, transforming Noah into Bugman and knocking Rachel headfirst into the well to become, well, lady. Rachel's not dead though, so she has a flashback to Anna plastic bagging Samara and hucking her into the well during a very serious onset case of buyer's, possibly kidnapper's remorse. And she lost the receipt to make a return. And when she closes the lid, it kind of looks like a ring of light, kind of.
You're still alive.
So, yeah, it turns out that Anna sucks at murdering children with plastic bags. I mean, to be fair, that's not a skill that's easy to practice without drawing a lot of unwanted attention from enthusiasts of the craft like Dave. So what are you practicing? Are you? Oh my God, are you using the Kittleman's technique?
I do have a very particular set of skills that make me a light never.
Whatever, Rachel finds. Tamara, she looks remarkably well preserved. Like, why did the ancient Egyptians fuss about freaking mummies when they could just been chucking dudes into a well? Seems like about the same. Honestly, she looks better than a mummy. Oh, never mind. This scene would hit a lot harder if I believed that Rachel gave even half a shit about her own son. Hell, we're almost done with this movie, and I think I've said Aiden's name more than she has. Like, yes, she didn't smother him to death with a plastic bag and throw him down a well, but like that's true of probably like 85% of parents. You don't get points for not doing that. But anyway, the cops show up, and Noah solemnly asks,
How long can you survive? I can't imagine being stuck down a well all alone like that.
he's like, I got a fun thought.
I got a fun and relevant.
I don't know why I'm thinking this. Sort of hit me out of nowhere. Hey, we're still actively exhuming the body of a dead girl. Can we wait? And Rachel's like, oh, definitely.
7 days.
Which is an even weirder thing to know. But okay, what if I fell in while holding like 30 hot dogs? I mean, there's already plenty of water in the well. Sure, it's been 24 years or something since she was hooked in. But if Samara had fallen in with enough hot dogs, I think she could still be alive. Like, what does she need? Like 200 hot dogs? 300 hot dogs? Somebody asked Reddit to do that math. How many hot dogs do you need to live for 24 years in a well?
I'll be fucked around with 200 hot dogs in my cargo.
Like 20 years. You got a lot of time. I fell in with a lot of hot dogs. They head back to wherever they left their damn son, and his neglected ass is literally sprawled out on the floor unconscious. Then we get 5 seconds of a shower scene, because I'm thinking that the director just wanted to see how a naked Naomi Watts might feel.
You don't feel naked?
We may not use much of this shot, but we should shoot it just in case. Which is what Dave said to me during our The Grudge shoot. It's like, we may not need you to be dick out for 30 to 45 minutes, but let's just shoot it so we got it. Then Aiden is like, hey, whatever happened with that kid who was like haunting me? And Rachel's like, oh, I found her in a well. And Aiden was like,
You helped her? Yeah.
Yeah, somebody.
So I saw this post that said 2024 would be the perfect time for a GTA 4 remaster in 4K 60 FPS in order to fill in the gap.
GTA 4, what a throwback. Now, I didn't get to play too much of this. I think the age rating.
Wait, hold up, because I actually want to try that real quick. Hold up. Search bar. Let's see. Nope. Sadly, bro, they put GTA 4 on the Xbox Series S, or I mean the X, both of them, and not the PS5. And no shit, wait, can't connect that. What? Internet. Why are you bugging, bro? Alright, that should do it. Back to the store. Search. I'm so confused, bro. I do not play this game. GTA 4. There we go. Some stuff actually shows up. Wait, hold up to that.
Does it have GTA 4? Oh. We may be getting a remaster of the best GTA game. The multi-billion, I don't know. So Franklin here has been awarded Employee of the Month.
You fucking with me, right? Man, we both being fucked with, dog.
Knock it up. Nigga, the lean down. I'm warming up. Chips the firming up. Ordered the orders. Views of the water. Straight from a page of your favorite author. Get to the
This does regeneration, but we're missing something.
You sure about that? You sure about that? You sure about that? You sure about that? You sure about that?
I've been playing Star Wars: The Galaxy of Fire.
I'm about to show y'all something else GTA 5 don't fucking believe in. The uniform first rip him out the rock his ass on it. Boom, headache. Oh shit, he trying to fight. What cop back? I'm like, get his ass in trouble. We out here. Damn. Nico getting diddy. Look at him. Cowboy boots. Wait. Come back.
See, GTA 4's Liberty City map is actually a masterpiece. I mean, it's so ahead.
This is incredible. We are live.
What are the best fruits to get? Who else remembers coming to this?
15 years later, and now we have a new way to travel around Liberty City. If you come to this location on the map, you can go inside of the building and you will see a wooden table. Everything seems very normal, but you can move it and flip it over. Once standing on top of it, all of a sudden you can just slide around the map. I don't know how efficient this can really be.
Wait, you can play GTA.
I'll take you all.
Why did you do that?
I mean, I don't know if I helped her per se. I was about 24 years and 300 hot dogs too late. But that said, whatever I did clearly worked because we're on like day 8 and I'm not dead. Aiden's like,
Don't you understand, Rachel?
now she's untethered, probably, maybe. And she has a grudge at your ring. I mean, she's gonna get you.
It tickles!
Ironically, the series is way clearer on Samara having an angry grudge against all of humanity than the one in The Grudge. Weird how that worked out. Because to be clear, Samara had the ability to etch thoughts into people's minds, like Aiden, her mom, and also horses, which is why everybody around her went crazy, presumably. She was like, I'm thinking of 300 hot dogs. And that just like seared into a horse's mind. So the horses would go kill themselves and then be used to make 300 hot dogs. An ironic twist of fate. A great ring of irony. And then she'd do it to her mom until she was like, I'm gonna have to kill this kid with a plastic bag. I can't be thinking about hot dogs anymore. It's just like... Also, that's what the horse ultrasounds were. She could also draw her thoughts onto physical objects, maybe? And something that they never actually explain in the movie or even hint at correctly, but is apparently the official version, is that Samara apparently telepathically projected her anger onto a blank VHS. Onto this VHS. Just like how Dave imprinted footage of him pooping for 37 minutes into the middle of my copy of The Phantom Menace. The movie is ruined for me. The whole pod race. Gone. And just like that, the television comes on in Noah's apartment, and Samara literally climbs down out of the set like one of Avatar's greatest 3D scenes.
Stop doing that stuff around me. I always get wet.
And Rachel rushes over there to, I don't know, I guess beat Samara in the face with a baseball bat or something. But seriously, has anyone tried that? I'm not sure what her weakness is, but that tends to work on most children. But Rachel's too late. But hey, the sexy assistant is leaving? I thought she was originally dating Noah, but then Noah decided to get back together with Rachel, so why is she here? Does she still work for him? Why is she in exactly 2 shots in this movie, and why is one of them right now? I don't know. But Rachel rushes home and screams at Aiden, "Go to your room! No!" And smashes and burns the tape. But then realizes that the reason she was spared was not because she found Samara's corpse and tried to feed it hot dogs, but because she made a copy of the tape. Samara's tapes apparently literally work like those chain emails that are like, you need to forward this to someone or else the Prince of Nigeria will come and eat your luck or whatever.
Well, figure.
Literally! So she grabs the copy and forces Aiden to make another copy so that he'll be spared, maybe? Fuzz.
Don't forget the bonus short film. I lost the original case.
This is literally the worst you've ever done, dude.
Dude, I thought that was my bad.
Yo, rings and circles and spirals, they're everywhere. Who cares?
Before we dive into The Ring 2, spelled out, there was actually a short film released as part of the DVD re-release. And this was just plopped on DVDs as a bonus? Like 300 hot dogs on the floating corpse of a well ghost? They say no one's ever made it past 7. They do not make like this anymore. But so, anyway, what it depicts is sonic loads of rings. You're never. And people talking about how they're one of the rings. Lords of them, I assume.
9 rings were gifted to
These idiots.
Thank you.
And a dude named Jake is flipping out on day 7.
If nobody watches my tape, I'm gonna die.
And he's calling people and they're like, Jake,
You came to us.
just keep filming what's going on. I'm sure it's gonna be rad. Cut back to a week earlier when Jake watched the tape for the first time and a hot girl's like, oh man, thank you. You saved my life. Which is so me. I save lives by watching videos too. I watch horrible movies so that others don't have to. Jake and I, we're the same. We're watching videos, we're kissing girls. Thank you. But then it's explained that they're all part of a ring. A ring.
All together, we make a ring.
Which is to say, they've been saving each other's lives by making copies of the tape and passing it to each other.
Timmy's your tail.
Now, I assume this is all relatively new, which is why they recruited Jake, but could you just pass it endlessly in a circle? Like, if you got enough friends, could you just each have a ring shift each year? Like a few pretty bad weeks, or at least you're not dead. Or better yet, do a group watch with like 50 people, and then, you team stomp Samara's slimy little ass when she comes for you all. Have like a watch party, and you all have guns, baseball bats. Unclear, but part of their deal is they're trying to understand what the hell is going on. So they've been filming their own experiences, seeing ladders that nobody sees, and pulling endless flies out of the camera monitor, and I think that's it.
I thought there was a scary part.
I think the afterlife is mostly just full of invisible ladders and multiverse hopping flies and evil, psychically powerful dead girls. Where do I sign up? I want to die now. Turns out this isn't the only ring. And in fact, there's an entire online community detailing their experiences post-watch. Let me tell you, Jake is psyched about it. He even ring waves at strangers on the street like they're all members of Fight Club. He even wears a stupid promise to die ring on his middle finger.
Now, why would anyone want to stop?
He's totally ring-pilled. He's in his ring era, just living that ring court life to the max. Except then one night, he watches a dude encounter Samara. who, by the way, is majorly working overtime at this point. It's one thing to haunt a few people a week, but another entirely to haunt like an entire subreddit, especially when they're smart enough to mostly not even be killed about it. She's pulling Victorian-era child labor hours. Like, they make a big point that nobody has filmed a day 7 so far. There are just hundreds of people constantly edging Samara all over America. It's like popping out, dragging an invisible ladder everywhere to like put in people's way.
Bus ticket to Cincinnati.
God damn it! They're like, sorry, I already made a copy. Oh my god! But anyway, this particular haunting makes Jake flash into a liminal space where water goes sideways, and I gotta say, I want that shower. Sign up for my Patreon so I can pay a scientist to make one for me. But now, he gets grabbed and he's like, whoa, I did not sign up for that. Dave, make a note for my scientist that I want my sideways shower to not have a creepy girl ghost that grabs me in it. I'm always worried that my shower scientist might put one in as a prank. I don't want it.
I never said it wasn't going to be dangerous, okay?
But after all that, Jake goes to his ring to be like, okay, I'm out. This sucks as much ass as I do now. And they're like, my guy, it's like day 5. Chill out. We need information. Don't they have like an entire website full of that? What new thing are they hoping to learn?
Yo, rings and circles and spirals, they're everywhere. Who cares?
Don't say that. Please don't say that.
It'd be like me saying, I wonder what happens when someone eats a spoonful of cinnamon. Or, I wonder what happens when a sexy stepmommy gets stuck inside a laundry machine. We already know. We have tons of footage on Dave's hard drive. Dave is always showing me that video. He's like, hey, but you won't guess the end. I'm like, I've seen the end. She's very clean.
I haven't seen it, obviously.
But then Jake is like, whoa, I see a girl outside. And they're like, who?
Oh,
shut up.
who?
Haven't you all already done this? Don't you have an entire internet community dedicated to this? You know who he's talking about. What are you talking about? She's like, wait, who? What'd you see? Who was it?
Is she still there?
I don't know. Later, Jake pukes out a massive bug and he's like, okay, that's it. I am not having fun anymore.
Let me in, you promised! You promised you won my tape!
He goes to his next in line ring bro to be like, okay, your turn. But the guy's like, no, I'm not going to do that.
I can't watch that tape.
Breckenridge is like, yeah.
We're finally gonna see it day 7.
This is going to roll. Damn it! But like, what do they expect to find out or see? They know that day 7 leads to death. It's on the news. It's on the subreddit, presumably. And also, couldn't they sacrifice some guy who deserved it, like the school bully or something? You cannot tell me that these kids are not getting bullied by at least one person.
Sorry. Whoa.
At least Death Note starts with him killing bullies before veering into questionable targets.
You don't get to feel superior for being a pussy.
Are you kidding me?
So in desperation, Jake runs to like a Circuit City or something instead of hitting up literally anyone else from his ring for him. And he tries to put the tape on all the TVs to get everybody in there infected, which dick move. But he is stopped by our ringer cop or whatever, who is apparently part of the ring cult. He's got a ring tattoo implying that this thing is way bigger than we thought. There are dozens of us. Dozens! And yet, they've still never found out what happens on day 7. They never found like a death row inmate or blackmailed someone into watching the tape without telling them what it is. What kind of shoddily operated secret organization is this? But I have to assume that Jake's not the only person to try this, and that's why Circuit City went bankrupt. Their TVs were all haunted, and all their customers died within a week of visiting the store. I mean, thank God there are only like 13 customers. They're all dead. All 13 of our customers are dead. We have to shut them all down.
Our entire government.
Never bring this here. But so now, an even more desperate Jake calls a cute girl from school who keeps hitting on him, but he's been ignoring in favor of learning about freaky dead girls.
Did you do anything cool this weekend?
It's like, hey, I want to date. So come over to my house so we can murder tape and chill.
I'm just asking for a little every time.
She's like, let me think about it. He's like, shit. And he has a whole nightmare about getting murdered while he diligently films it like a pro, which, okay, wow, that's so nice of him. Like, Jake has been betrayed by the ring cult and sacrificed to a demon girl, yet he still gives them exactly what they asked for. I'm gonna be honest, if it was me and I thought I was gonna die, I wouldn't be helping out the people who basically killed me. I'd have that camera pointed right at my butthole after a dozen cans of beans. Like, this is what happens on day 7, you assholes. But actually, that wasn't real, and Emily is coming over.
I'm on my way.
So it's actually gonna be totally fine. Like Dave always says, wine 'em, dine 'em, ring-a-fy 'em. It doesn't make much sense most of the time, but in these very specific scenarios, I'm like, oh, okay.
It really, really makes sense with these mountains of context.
Yeah, more than you know.
And they act like this is some huge dick move on Jake's part, and it is. But also, he can help her make a copy to show somebody else in 7 days, and they don't need to pretend that they're documenting anything for science. Like Jake and everybody knows exactly how it works now. It shouldn't be that difficult to circumvent. It's not even that much effort for people who don't believe it. Just be like, I know this is crazy, watch this tape and make a copy, give it to a friend. No sweat. Well, I guess there is some sweat, or at least moistness.
Yeah, I'm not, cause I gotta wait for Jay anyways. This nigga's taking forever.